What's up, everybody? Oh my goodness, we're super excited. We have the one and only Max Montesi on the show today from The Last of Us. But man, oh man, he is just an all-around filmmaker that we just had the pleasure to talk to.
Oh my gosh, we learned so much from this man. He drops so much information for all you up and comers out there. And let's be honest about it. Not everybody can go toe to toe with Pedro Pascal and live to tell the story. He does. He tells us the story.
Man, it was so insightful from so many different projects working on indie filmmaking to huge budget television shows like The Last of Us. He's got some great stories. We're super excited about it, but that is later on the show. Now let's get a little crazy. What's up, guys? It is episode 219 of Inside the Crazy Ant Farm. Holy moly, you know your host with the most, myself, J-Lo Fantastic, and the one and only Mouth.
What's up?
Boy, oh boy. Before we tease the rest of the show, be sure to leave a rating on the podcast. Comment below and tell us what you think about the show. Leaving a rating actually helps this podcast get seen by more people, especially those who enjoy entertainment news and those who are trying to break into the entertainment industry. But man, oh man, there's so much going down in Hollywood. Well, basically, with the big two, like we teased on social media, man, oh man, Disney and Warner Brothers Discovery just putting it all out there this week.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so super excited. But before we get this thing started, be sure to head over to our website, www.crazyantmedia.com, where you can start rocking the latest and greatest Crazy Ant Media gear. We got shirts, we got hats, we got anything and everything you need for your apparel needs. Man, oh man, right now it is 15% off in our store. So be sure to head over to our website, like I said, crazyantmedia.com, and take advantage. Oh my goodness. Well, we have to start off with Disney because everybody knows the Mouse House reigns over all.
Yes.
Disney, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania buzzed to about 120 million at the domestic box office, beating expectations and scoring by far the biggest opening weekend in the pint-sized Marvel trilogy.
Yes.
Now, the superhero adventure starring Paul Rudd and Evangeline Lilly as title heroes brought in about 105 million from 4,345 North American theaters over the traditional weekend and finished the President's Day holiday frame with 120 million. Adding that extra day definitely helps. And it's the first 100 million domestic debut of 2023. That's so super exciting. I mean, the film added 121 million at the international box office, bringing its global tally to 225 million. Quantumania, with a huge jump with procedurals surging past the opening of 2015's Ant-Man, which was 57 million, and 2018 sequel Ant-Man and the Wasp only grossed about 76 million domestically on that opening weekend. Now, the latest Ant-Man adventure has a lofty responsibility of kicking off Phase 5 of the MCU. It continues with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, May 5th, followed by newly delayed The Marvels on November 10th.
Yes. I mean, so there you go. I think it was successful, right?
Very
most
so.
Successful of the Ant-Man franchise, obviously. And, you know, in the world that we live in now with COVID, post-COVID, all that kind of stuff, it's a really solid opening. So I feel like it's a good start to it. And if you haven't seen it yet, go fucking see it because Kang is fucking awesome.
By far my favorite villain now. By far.
Just dude is slaying. He's absolutely slaying. You know what else is slaying? I'm super excited about this. Our man Steven Yeun is joining the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That's right, Glenn from The Walking Dead. The Oscar-nominated actor will make his first appearance in Thunderbolts, joining the star-studded cast already of Florence Pugh, Sebastian Stan, and Julia Louis-Dreyfus, among others. Now, it's not clear who Yeun will be playing in the film, which is expected to start shooting in June, but it's likely his character, whoever it may be, will play a role in the future of the sprawling MCU. Now, Jake Schreier is directing the Thunderbolts, which is due in theaters on July 26th of next year. The anti-hero adventure is intended to conclude the MCU's Phase 5 that just kicked off, like we told you, with Ant-Man and the Wasp and Quantumania, and continues with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, The Marvels, as Logan told you, and Captain America, New World Order, Blade, and Deadpool 3. So there you go. Now you know all of Phase 5.
Oh, that's super exciting, man. Super exciting. Well, more exciting news coming out of Disney. Stella Maggie has been set to helm the episodes of the Marvel Studios and Disney Plus series Wonder Man,
Yes.
starring Yahya Abdul-Mateen II. And it is believed that Maggie, with helm of multiple episodes for the series, along with Daniel Destin Creighton, who also will direct multiple episodes. Now, Andrew Guest is head writer of this bad boy, and Creighton also executive produces, along with Marvel Studio president, of course, the one and only God himself, Kevin Feige.
Yes.
Now, Maggie already had a strong tie with Disney, as she did executive produce Tiana, a new animated series for Disney Plus, revolving around the character from the Disney animated pick, The Princess and the Frog. So close ties, man, close ties.
Yes, and for all you like just bastards like upset because Wonder Man is going to be black, move the fuck on. That's all I'm saying. Just I hate seeing all that
It's
hate
so
shit.
stupid.
It's so stupid. Just enjoy, man. Enjoy. Yeah, I'm going to enjoy this because it's right around the corner. Literally, The Mandalorian is about to launch its long-awaited 3rd season. March 4th, just like I said, right around the corner. And creator Jon Favreau recently confirmed that scripts for season 4 are already written and waiting to be shot, even though Disney and Lucasfilm haven't yet officially said there's going to be a 4th season. Now, why is that? Because Favreau announced that he wrote season 4 scripts during season 3 post-production, stressing that it's essential that the scripts be done so that the series can continue to fit into and anchor the larger framework of the Star Wars universe. There are a handful of new Star Wars series on the way, as you guys know, including the highly anticipated Ahsoka, that will be set in the same time frame as The Mandalorian, as will the Jude Law starring series Skeleton Crew. Now, the Amanda Stenberg starring series, The Acolyte, actually takes place years in the past, so that's operating on a different schedule altogether. But hey, The Mandalorian, as I said, season 3 debuts March 1st, right on Disney Plus, right around the corner, like a week and a half from now, guys. I'm
super excited. Everybody knows we love pop culture and specifically Star Wars and Marvel. So man, oh man, we have it marked on the calendar.
Long live Grogu.
Literally. Well, Melissa George has been tapped as the female lead opposite of Ben McKenzie and ABC's medical drama pilot that we told you about last week, The Hurt Unit.
Yes.
Written by Matt Lopez and John Glenn to direct by Mark Webb. Now, George will play Dr. Ashcroft, the head of the psychiatry and deputy chief of administration at Nashville's City South Hospital. In that latter capacity, she gets into a frequent and epic clashes with Dr. Danny Marsh, who is played by Ben McKenzie. A brilliant and initiative psychotherapist, Rachel plays a crucial role in the ongoing care of the badly traumatized patients of the Hurt Unit, and on occasion in counseling the deeply flawed doctors themselves.
Ooh,
right?
I love it. I've been a fan of Melissa George since I first saw her on Alias way the fuck back. She's great, so that's going to be yeah, I know. It's good. It's fine. I'm also a huge fan of this woman, and I'm super pumped that she's getting all this work lately. Javicia Leslie, you of course know her from Batwoman, is set as a lead opposite Caitlin Olsen and Daniel Sunjata in ABC's character-based procedural drama pilot HPI that we told you about last week. Now, Leslie will play a character named Daphne. As we told you last week, the series centers on Morgan, a single mom with 3 kids and an exceptional mind who helps solve an unsolvable crime when she rearranges some evidence during her shift as a cleaner for the police department.
Shady.
When they discover she has a knack for putting things in order because of her high intellectual potential, she's brought on as a consultant to work with the by-the-book seasoned detective, Kardec, played by Sunjata. And together, they form an unusual and unstoppable team. Now, I'm also super psyched. We're just going to throw that out there. And spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, Javicia's not done with Batwoman. Well, she's kind of done with Batwoman. She's Red Flash. What the fuck? Not Batman. Batwoman. Yes, the final season of The Flash, y'all. You got to be sure to check that out because she got raw dealed on Batwoman. I'm so glad she's back and she's going to be a part of the ending. I think it's awesome.
I agree, man. I agree. She deserved better, and that's what she's getting right now.
Hell yes.
Now, in a return, 5 years in the making, original The Good Doctor cast member Chukwu Modu is set to recur on the current 6th season of the ABC medical drama. Reprising his role as Dr. Jared Kalu, he will first appear in March episode 6, titled Old Friends. In it, Dr. Kalu, obviously, makes a surprise return to San Jose's St. Bonaventure Hospital with his billionaire patient.
Oh.
Modu's surgical resident, Dr. Jared Kalu, was a breakout character in season 1 who was close with fellow resident Dr. Sean Murphy, of course, Mr. the one and only Freddie Highmore.
Yes.
Now, he got into trouble for punching a doctor who had sexually harassed his girlfriend, resident Claire Brown. Antonia Thomas played that character, if you didn't know. After being fired, Kalu used legal blackmail to secure reinstatement, but never was fully accepted by his bosses and broke up with Claire before heading to Colorado for a surgeon job. But man, oh man, I'm sure a lot of people are excited to see him back.
Yeah, well, we saw Claire come back, so it only makes sense that he comes back.
Exactly.
Right? This one, I can take it or leave it. Whoopi Goldberg has been cast as a guest star in an upcoming episode of ABC's The Conners. Goldberg will play Miss Glenn, Mark's intimidating music teacher who has a complicated history with another member of the Connor family.
Very interesting. I haven't seen Whoopi on some like actual television shows in a while.
She's a really good actress, so but okay.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, ABC is hitting a stride with its Wednesday night comedies. The premiere of Not Dead Yet and the Valentine's Day episode of Abbott Elementary both drew solid numbers for the network and delayed viewing. Now, the premiere episode of Not Dead Yet drew in an audience of about 7.6 million. I was
going to say, holy fuck, almost a billion people? Holy shit.
Man, 7.6 million people after 7 days of viewing across linear and digital platforms. That makes it ABC's most watched multi-platform comedy debut in nearly 4 years. Now, since the premiere of Bless This Mess back in April of 2019, Not Dead Yet 7-day viewership marked an increase of 4 million from its Live Plus same day audience of 3.6 million on February 8th. Now, that's the largest delayed viewing increase for ABC comedies since The Conners back in 2018. Now, the Valentine's Day Abbott Elementary also aired to 3.2 million people. After 7 days, that audience had grown to 7.4 million, which is a new high for this series. Now, the episode marked the second consecutive telecast that grew that total number of viewership, drawing in its largest audience since the January 4th mid-season premiere. Now, Abbott Elementary also hit a series high in demo ratings as well. The February 8 episode earned a 2.9 rating in the MP plus 7, which was up 345% from the 0.56 rating that drew in the L plus SD. Now, do any of you know what that means? No. It's basically the age demographic, okay? They hit the target age demographic, that 18 to 35, 34.
Yeah,
so that's exciting, man. That's exciting. It is a good show, so it makes sense.
Yeah, and I want to check out Not Dead Yet. I haven't watched it yet, but I keep seeing it, and I'm like, I want to click on that. This one should come to absolutely no surprise to anybody. The Goldbergs is ending after 10 seasons at ABC. The season 10 finale is set to air on May 3rd and will serve as the single-camera comedies series finale. The move to end the series is not altogether surprising, even though it has been a cornerstone of the ABC comedy slate throughout its run with solid ratings returns. Now, The Goldbergs is currently the longest running live action network comedy on the air, but has faced difficulties in the past few years. George Siegel, of course, who starred as Albert Pop Solomon on the show, passed away in early 2021. Later that same year, series star Jeff Garlin exited the show following a human resources misconduct investigation. Ending the show also comes at a difficult time for the broadcast TV business in general, with major networks having ordered just a handful of comedy pilots at this point in the traditional pilot season, and overall pilot order volume continues to plummet. So,
Yeah, it's by no surprise. I'm honestly surprised it lasted this long,
yeah,
to be honest. But I mean, it was a great show through its whole run. So I'm excited to see what they wrap it up
for
as.
sure.
Now, heading over to Fox after its February 16th premiere, Fox's latest comedy, Animal Control, has become the network's most streamed scripted debut.
Makes sense.
Now, Animal Control earned a 4.5 total million total in multiple platform viewers in its first 3 days of availability, an increase of about 114% from Live Plus same days figures. Now, on Hulu and Fox Now, the live action comedy recorded 1.3 million streaming viewers.
Hmm.
Now, on linear, the comedy delivered a 0.31 rating with high key adults in that 18 to 49 demographic after it premiered on the February 16th to an audience of approximately 2 million total viewers. Now, the feat makes the series Fox's most streamed live action comedy ever, besting the 2015 premiere of The Last Man on Earth,
Oh,
which drew in about 1.22 million, and pushing it to become Fox's most watched comedy telecast since 2021's Last Man Standing finale, excluding, of course, post NFL telecast. The telecast did score a 0.05 rating among adults in that key demographic, like we were just talking about, 18 to 49. So that's exciting, man. I mean, it does look pretty funny. Joe McHale, I mean, I feel like he's always the unsung comedian.
oh, for
So
sure.
I'm excited to give this one a watch.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I'm definitely on the watch list to check out. All right, jumping over to the Bunny Warner Brothers Discovery. They had their fourth quarter earnings call this week, and it was not a good one for
Not
David
great.
Zasloff. The company continued to work on making all of its various pieces merge together last year into a cohesive whole, but they failed. The New York owner of the TNT and TBS cable networks, the HBO Max streaming service, and the Warner Brothers production studio reported a net loss of $2.1 billion for its fiscal fourth quarter after the company wrote down $1.85 billion in assets and faced nearly $1.2 billion in restructuring expenses. That's right. After he axed all the shit that he axed and all that, they still lost all that shit fucking money. That's just crazy. Revenue fell 9%, excluding the results of foreign exchange, and the company saw ad sales decrease 14% as its TV networks, even as it worked to add subscribers to its HBO Max and Discovery Plus streaming outlets. Now, the large media conglomerate faced declines in its main TV business, even as it worked to goose the financials of its new streaming assets. Warner Brothers Discovery's TV networks, which also include Discovery, CNN, and Food Network, saw revenue fall 6% to roughly $5.5 billion, with declines evident in affiliate fees as well as advertising. Studio operations saw revenue fall about 23% as the company collected less from licensing of its content. Was there any good news? Tell me there's some good news, Logan.
I mean, man, HBO and HBO Max and Discovery Plus added
Oh!
about 1.1 million subscribers in quarter four to end 2022, which is good. That ends up with a total of 96.1 million subscribers. That is worldwide. That's up from the 95 million combined global streaming customers Warner Brothers Discovery hit from July 1st to September 30th. Now, the quarter and losses in the streaming operations did narrow.
Oh.
Now, the operating loss in its streaming operations came to, 217 million in the quarter for its streaming assets compared to the pro forma losses of 728 million in the year earlier period. Now, during the call with investors, Garner Windefils, the company's chief financial officer, indicated a new projection for $4 billion in cost savings by the end of 2024. Now that is the new target. We'll see what freaking happens, but with this next story, I don't know if you can save any money.
Right? Like I just don't even get it. And didn't they try for $4 billion the last time they failed? I don't even know.
Yeah.
Warner Brothers Pictures is revamping the Lord of the Rings film franchise. That's right. They're going back, guys. On this week's earnings call, Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav himself also announced that the newly installed studio leaders, Mike DeLuca and Pam Abbey, have brokered a deal apparently to make multiple films based on the beloved J.R.R. Tolkien books. Now, the projects will be developed through Warner Brothers label New Line Cinema. The first Lord of the Rings trilogy, helmed by the man himself, Peter Jackson, grossed nearly $3 billion worldwide. Jackson's follow-up trilogy based on Tolkien's The Hobbit matched those grosses. Now, no filmmakers have been attached to the projects as of yet, but Jackson himself and his main Lord of the Rings collaborators, Fran Walsh and Philippa Boyens, said in a statement, quote, Warner Brothers and Embracer have kept us in the loop every step of the way. We look forward to speaking with them further to hear their vision for the franchise moving forward. Now, inaugural projects and timelines were not immediately disclosed. So are they going to keep him in the loop? Because Amazon said they did, and then they just dropped him altogether, and they got nothing to do with it.
That's what I'm curious about, man. Because, I mean, especially with these two dueling projects, I know one's a TV show, and what it sounds like these are going to be films.
Right.
It's going to be very confusing on what is happening where. And again, like they're trying to save $4 billion. This one is going to cost a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
So we shall see how that goes.
I just hope they do indeed keep Peter Jackson involved, because as Amazon found out, when he's not involved, people don't like the shit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just the man knows what he's doing with those franchises. Keep him involved. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, with that one and House of the Dragon, I feel like they're going to do pretty well.
Oh, yeah.
HBO and HBO Max content CEO Casey Bloys confirms that sometime in 2024, it's a good guess for the House of the Dragon's return as production is getting underway.
Oh.
Although he's very mum on the exact time of year,
Oh.
Game of Thrones is obviously a franchise that has legs at HBO, but Bloys is cautious in going down that road too often, even as some of his competitors double and triple down on the popular series. Bloys made clear he is not planning any spin-off series. Bloys offered the same answer when asked whether there would be ever another installment of the Emmy-winning Watchmen. Now, he has no interest in bringing it back or anyone other than executive producer Damien Lindelof. Also, not in the cards are the return of rumored 6 Feet Under revival, which Bloys said was never really in the works to begin with. And the return of True Blood, which was considered with HBO developing a few scripts, but ultimately decided against doing. So, I mean, trying to figure out what to do. I mean, it's very interesting.
Well, it's so nice how he took a stab at Paramount, clearly, where they said they are building franchises and spinoffs. He's like, yeah, we're not going to do it. So that led to this story, which I'm really upset about, but I get it. I guess I'm just going to take it in and enjoy season 4 and then cry. As long been rumored, Succession is coming to an end, guys, with season 4. And yes, it will be a real finale because, as we just mentioned, Bloys and the network are not developing any spinoffs. So in season 4, which premieres just in a couple of weeks, March 26th, the sale of media conglomerate Waystar Royco to tech visionary Lucas Madison moves even closer. The prospect of this sale provokes existential angst and familial division among the Roys as they anticipate what their lives will look like once the deal is complete. A power struggle ensues as the family weighs up the future of where their cultural and political weight is severely curtailed. Are they going to take it away from daddy? That's the plan. That's how it looked like it was ending. These kids all hate each other, but they're like, let's get together and take it away from dad before he sells the shit off.
Yeah, it seems like I'm still in season 1, and I mean that I'm like in the 4th episode, and it seems like that's all they're doing right now anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm really curious to see how it will happen. Like you said, if Logan does die or all of these different things, because it's been very teeter-totter.
It is
the
a
whole time.
fucked up family, though.
It
The
is.
show is like, that is a fucked up family. That's why I love it so much, though. I mean,
Exactly. Well, speaking on something I love, I'm super excited that they're creating this. HBO Max is officially moving forward with its It prequel series
Ooh.
titled Welcome to Derry.
Mm.
Now, the show was first reported being in development back in March of 2022. While Variety exclusively reported on that project had been attached, a few co-showrunners back in November. As previously reported, the series was developed for television by Andy Muschietti, Barbara Muschietti, and Jason Fuchs. Now, exact plot details are being kept well under wraps, but official logline states that set in a world of Stephen King's It universe, Welcome to Derry is based on King's It novel, of course, and it expands the vision established by filmmaker Andy Muschietti. And in the feature films It and It Chapter 2. Yeah, if you guys didn't realize, that's the director who took the helm of both of those projects.
Yes.
Now, Fuchs is writing the teleplay for the first episode of the series as we speak, and it's based on the story by him and Andy. Now, Andy will also direct multiple episodes of this bad boy, including the first to get that thing all started. Now, Fuchs and Brad Caleb King serve as co-showrunners and executive producers. I'm super freaking excited. Stephen King always sails out a packed house. So, man, oh man, I think this is going to be successful.
Yes, and it's such a nice name. Welcome to Derry.
Right? Doesn't it just kind of like welcome you in and like all this different shit? But man, oh man, Pennywise is gonna get that ass.
Yeah, we're gonna find out why. I'm guessing, right? We're gonna find out what the fuck. Literally, that's gonna be amazing. Hey, did you guys know that Stanley Kubrick, speaking of a phenomenal director who told fucked up stories, right? Like, did you know he had an unmade feature film? He did. It was called Napoleon. And guess what? Apparently, Steven Spielberg has confirmed that he's working on a 7-part limited series for HBO based on that unmade feature film, Napoleon. Now, rumors of which first began floating around back in 2016 with director Cary Fukunaga attached. Well, he's not, and now Spielberg is. That's all we know at this point, but it's Stanley Kubrick, Steven Spielberg. I think it's going to be amazing.
I think so too, but the only thing I'm worried about, because I have PTSD from what Netflix did with Orson Welles' last film.
Oh,
so
well, yeah.
Please do not do that. That is a title project of what not to do.
Right,
so
right.
We shall see. Well, Southside has been canceled after 3 seasons at HBO Max. The comedy series followed Simon and Kareem, best friends who graduated from community college and are ready to take over the freaking world, but are stuck working at a rent-to-own furniture store until they do. Season 1 of Southside premiered on Comedy Central back in July of 2019 and was later renewed for a second season, which ended up moving to HBO Max, along with the other 2 season premiered on November 21st, while season 3 arrived on December 2022. So, I mean, a lot of interesting things. It sounds funny, so it sucks that it's ending.
It does, and I'm kind of upset about that, but hey, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Sometimes everything's got to end eventually, right? This one here, actually some good news for Warner Brothers. It's their game division, and apparently Hogwarts Legacy is making a shit ton of money for their game division, earning $850 million in global sales and moving more than 12 million units in just its first 2 weeks post-launch on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series XJS, and PC. Now, according to the numbers released this week by the video game company, that marks the biggest global launch ever for the Warner Brothers Discovery owned brand, with the Harry Potter action role-playing game also setting the Twitch record for single player games with 1.28 million peak concurrent viewers at its launch.
Man,
holy shit.
I'm super excited to get this freaking game. As you basically just walk around the school, like going to class, like just a normal thing. It's kind of like Sims, but in the Hogwarts Harry Potter world. And man, oh man, I'm super freaking excited.
Yeah. This one, I can't wait for you to. This is how David is apparently going to try to get some of that money back.
Makes sense. Well, Warner Brothers Discovery has filed a lawsuit that accuses Paramount of reining of parts of 500 million licensing deals set back in 2019 for the streaming rights to episodes of South Park. Now, the suit filed today in New York Supreme Court asserts that Paramount breached the contract by steering South Park specials and other content to its own Paramount Plus platform.
Ooh.
Now, the suit alleges that Paramount blatantly intended to prop up Paramount Plus at the expense of Warner slash HBO, and that Paramount engaged in multiple and flagrant deplications of constructions of the fact and breaches a whole bunch of things in the contracts. Now, HBO Max set a whopping licensing pact with Paramount for rights to South Park episodes back in October of 2019, as then parent company AT&T was pairing to launch the HBO Max streaming platform in May of 2020. It sounds a little shady to me, and they did it kind of like right on time, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of fucked up. I think honestly that Zaslav, and I don't know how I feel about this, but I feel like
They might have a case.
He's going to win. I mean, if Paramount signed a deal with them to give them episodes with even if it was when they were still owned by AT&T,
Yeah.
a deal's a deal. And if you launched Paramount Plus and took all the episodes for yourself, I feel like you probably are going to lose this lawsuit, Paramount. I feel like Zaslav's going to get a win there. Speaking of Paramount, it's a nice transition. CBS has renewed 9 of its series for new seasons. Procedural dramas NCIS, NCIS Hawaii, and CSI Vegas. News programs 60 Minutes and 48 Hours. And reality competition series Survivor, which is like, I don't know, season 100. I don't know. It's been on forever.
Literally.
The Amazing Race, Tough as Nails, and Lingo. Now, these series join the other recently announced renewals that we told you about at CBS, which include Fire Country, Young Sheldon as the last part of a 3-season renewal given to them in 2021, Ghosts, The Neighborhood, Bob Hart's Abishola, So Help Me Todd, The Equalizer, which was their last part of the 2-season renewal given to them last year, FBI, FBI International, and FBI Most Wanted. So Dick Wolf is safe on CBS, apparently.
Right.
And that's the last part of a 2-season renewal given to each of those shows in the franchise back in 2022. Now, additionally, the network gave a series order to The Never Game, a drama starring Justin Hartley and based on the book of the same name. Most notable among the series that CBS has not renewed yet are Blue Bloods, SWAT, and East New York, the police procedural starring Amanda Warren as Deputy Inspector Regina Haywood that premiered in its first season of October of last year, as the 3 current CBS scripted series that are yet to get word on next season. Now, both Blue Bloods and SWAT are in active renewal negotiations with proposed budget cuts among the points that need to be hammered out. Amid overall decline in linear ratings, it's become common practice, if you guys don't know, for broadcast networks to ask for budget reductions on long-running series, which naturally become more expensive as they age because the stars want more and more money every year. It makes sense. Now, this one I'm nervous about, though. East New York is a classic bubble series, as always, and we'll likely have to wait for CBS brass to see how the new mid-season entry True Lies performs in the coming weeks and to review the 2 drama pilots before they make a decision on the police starring drama. Now, it doesn't make sense to me. Even if True Lies does well, we told you several weeks back that East New York was the second highest rated drama series, new drama series behind Fire Country on all networks. So it's apparently doing well. So I'm not quite sure why CBS is keeping that on the bubble.
Yeah, it doesn't really make any sense, does it?
It doesn't.
I feel like, I don't know, man. We'll see what happens. But yeah.
Don't do it. It's a
weird.
great fucking show. Don't cancel it.
Don't do it. Mary Elizabeth Winstead has signed up to star opposite of Ewan McGregor. I mean, who wouldn't? In the upcoming Showtime and Paramount Plus series, A Gentleman in Moscow. McGregor was first reported to be starring back in the show in August of 2022. Production on the limited series is now underway. Per the official logline, the series follows Count Alexander Rostov McGregor, who, in the aftermath of the Russian Revolution, finds that he is gilded past places Gilded past places him on the wrong side of history.
Oh.
Spared immediately from execution, he is banished by the Soviet tribunal in the atomic room in the Oubliette Hotel Metropole, threatened with death if he ever sets foot outside again.
Oh.
As the years pass and some of the most tumultuous decades in Russian history unfold outside of the hotel's doors, Rostrov's reduced circumstances prove him entry into the much larger world of emotional discovery. As he builds a new life within the walls of the hotel, he discovers the true value of friendship, family, and love.
Oh.
Winstead will star as Anna Ondrova, described as a glamorous, independent, self-made film actress. As the height of her fame, she uses her wit and beauty to dazzle Count Alexander Rostov, as she is an enigmatic character who keeps her cards very close to her chest, reluctant to reveal her true self. Anna plays a role off screen as well as on. The Count and Anna's sizzling chemistry is clear from the moment they meet in the Metropole Hotel, where he has been banished by Soviet trial. But will this love be true, or will the latest in the long roles of Anna, is she still playing? This will mark the third on-screen collaboration with Winstead and McGregor, who first worked together when they both starred in season 3 of Fargo on FX. They then worked together on 2020's DC film Birds of Prey. They were reportedly married in 2022 and have one freaking child together. So there it is.
Well, that makes sense why they keep working together.
Oh my goodness.
All right, jumping over to NBC Universal. Universal's gruesome action comedy Cocaine Bear is expected to start strong at the domestic box office this weekend. Now, Cocaine Bear hopes to take in about $15 million to $17 million from 3,500 North American theaters, with a chance that positive buzz could propel initial returns to as high as $20 million. Now, Cocaine Bear is aiming for second place on the domestic box office charts, behind last week's champ and likely this week's champ, without doubt, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Both films are catering to younger male moviegoers. For Cocaine Bear, a debut around the high teens isn't going to establish any box office records, but those early estimates suggest it could be a notch in favor of the nearly extinct mid-budget movies. So that's good. Now, the film did make $2 million last night from previews at 3,000 theaters that began at 5 p.m. So we'll see. $2 million in Thursday night previews. Will it get to 15 or 17 million?
Exactly. And I mean, when was the last time anybody's put out a good comedy? So I'm excited to see how this actually moves forward. We're both going to go see it this weekend, so can't wait to talk about it.
Hell yeah.
The beautifully creepy android doll from Megan is seemingly finding her way into a new home. That's right, your home. The unrated cut of the crazy sci-fi horror film will begin streaming exclusively on Peacock starting February 24th, which is today of this recording. Directed by Gerard Johnstone and produced by Jason Blum from, of course, Get Out and Black Klansman, and James Wan from Saw, Insidious, and the Conjuring franchises. The film stars Allison Williams as Gemma Brilliantly Toy Company Robotics, who creates a lifelike doll programmed with artificial intelligence to be a child's greatest companion. But things take a traumatic freaking turn when Gemma becomes the unprepared caretaker of her newly orphaned niece and brings home the humanoid doll to keep her company. And man, oh man, we're super excited about this because next week we have the editor of the film coming on the show to talk about that process. And yes, that's right, the first ever editor that's been on Inside the Crazy Empire.
Hell yes. And have you seen the movie yet? Did you like the ending? You might have had something to do with that.
Yeah.
What am I talking about? You're going to have to listen to the interview to find out. But, man, you're not going to want to miss it. It was an awesome interview.
Stay tuned.
Reba McEntire, speaking of awesome, will join The Voice as Mega Mentor for season 23. Now, as the season's Mega Mentor, McEntire will work with the contestants that have made it through the battle rounds to help them prepare for the knockouts that begin on April 17th. Now, McEntire joins the A-list lineup of coaches for this season: Chance the Rapper, Kelly Clarkson making the return, Nia Niall Horan and Blake Shelton for the new season that premieres on March 6th. Now, season 23 is Shelton's final season. He has been a part of the musical competition show from the very beginning, as you guys know, as the only coach who has remained for the entirety of the show's run. Now, having McIntyre on board brings another country superstar into the show's mix. It also marks McIntyre's return to The Voice, as she served as a battle advisor to Team Blake during the show's inaugural season all the way back in 2011.
Wow.
Now, having her back on the series as Shelton coaches his final group of artists and bids farewell to the competition is a fitting full circle reunion. I hear too that there's something new with the battles this year. Yeah, they're changing it up and throwing some kinks into it.
Well, I'm hoping this is kind of like a passing the torch moment. Maybe Reba will continue being that country voice after Blake leaves. So I wouldn't mind that.
That'd be tough though, because isn't she's still like a main character on Big Sky?
That's
isn't
the
she?
thing. Yeah, I don't know.
It would be cool though. Maybe if she somehow gets written off or dies on Big Sky, she could take Blake's place. That would be really cool.
Yeah, who knows? Because I mean, Pedro on The Last of Us, and then The Mandalorian. So
that's true. These people are busy as shit.
They really are. Well, heading over to Sony, A Man Called Otto, which is a beautifully heartfelt drama starring Tom Hanks as a cranky widower, has notched an important box office milestone, crossing 100 million globally. The film's tally stands at 100.4 million, including 61.2 million in North America and 39.2 million internationally. Now, overseas, the top-selling markets are the United Kingdom, Australia, Mexico, Spain, and Germany. Now, in pandemic times, the 100 million benchmark is notable because only a few movies aim at an older audience, such as Baz Luhrmann's epic biopic Elvis, Tom Cruise's sequel to Top Gun Maverick, and Brad Pitt's action comedy Bullet Train have managed to bring audiences back to theaters. Now, Sony initially planned to premiere at the, planned to premiere the 50 million budgeted A Man Called Otto around Christmas, but the studio decided to open the film in limited releases on December 30th before expanding it nationwide on just January 13th. By waiting until the new year, which is usually a slower time at the box office, the movie avoided getting lost in the crush of the holiday releases. So it's a really good movie. It's very heartfelt. I cried like a baby at the end. So I would definitely recommend to go see it.
Oh, for sure. And it just shows you though that's a really good example of the wave of how long you sit at the top of the box office, right?
Yeah.
Like back in the day, a Tom Hanks movie would have been guaranteed no matter when you put it out there to skyrocket, make tons of money, and everybody'd go see it. Now they have to avoid holiday movies to make sure he makes money.
Yeah.
So you don't stay at the top long, guys. I mean, it doesn't matter who you are or how many Oscars you got.
Exactly.
Shrinking's Lukita Maxwell has been cast in They Listen from writer-director Chris Weitz, and what we hear is a top-billed role. Now, in the horror pick, which has a storyline under wraps, the actress plays the daughter of John Cho and Catherine Waterston's characters. Blumhouse and Sony will present the depth of field production. It is slated to open theatrically on August 25th, 2023.
There you go, man. There you go. Well, heading over to Lionsgate, Grammy Award-winning artists 2 Chainz and Neo have signed on to join season 3 of Star's gritty drama BMF in recurring roles.
Oh, cool.
They joined the impressive guest star roster that has previously included Eminem, Shahira, Carisha, Young Miami, Brownlee, and Snoop Dogg. 2 Chainz will play Stax, an Atlanta-born distributor whose wisdom and stature command respect wherever he goes. Fiercely loyal and determined to provide for his family no matter the cost, Stax lives by the street code and challenges Meech's leadership style, as Stars describes him. And Neo will play Rodney Greeny Green, a loyal Atlanta player whose main focus is making money. While he oozes the swagger and the entrepreneurial spirit, Greeny has more to him than that lies beneath the surface. The cast comes on the heels of the show's early season 3 renewal. and I don't see this one going anywhere anytime soon.
No, I mean, it's a fantastic show. If you guys haven't checked it out, and it's based real life, it's real life people, guys. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. Jumping over to Amazon/MGM, I'm excited for this one. Amazon Studios has secured the return of Dave Bautista, Chloe Coleman, Kristen Schaal, Kim Jong, and others for their My Spy sequel. That's right, My Spy: The Eternal City. Now, among the new additions to the ensemble in the second installment are Anna Faris, Craig Robinson, and Flula Borg, an action comedy from STX Films that Prime picked up for release amidst theatrical shutdown of COVID pandemic. My Spy told the story of JJ, which of course was played by Dave Bautista, a hardened CIA operative who found himself at the mercy of a precocious 9-year-old Sophie, played by Coleman. Now, after being sent undercover to surveil her family, Shao played JJ's tech specialist, colleague Bobby, with Zheng, his boss, David. In the sequel from Amazon Studios, a now teenage Sophie convinces JJ to chaperone her school choir trip to Italy, where they both unwittingly end up as pawns in an international terrorist plot targeting CIA chief David Kim and his son, Colin, who also happens to be Sophie's best friend. That's going to be awesome. I loved the film. I thought it was really cute. I thought Batista and her were great together. So
yeah, I love seeing Batista getting more work because I champion those wrestlers who can cross over into film and television and make a living at it. I think, they're doing great. So I'm happy to see it.
Hell yeah.
Amazon Studios has picked up the rights to Daring to Live, produced by Devon Franklin's Franklin Entertainment. Previously set up at a Paramount Players, the project is now in development at Amazon Studios. The film is inspired by Cherie Hunter's 2020 memoir, Daring to Live, how the power of sisterhood and taking risks can jumpstart your joy.
Whoa.
It follows Hunter's journey to embracing life anew after a sudden loss of her husband, thanks to the support of her friend groups, Annette Frink, Mia Lewis, and Brenda Jagg, collectively known as the Dare Divas, who encourage her to step outside her comfort zone. Daring to Live is the latest project from Franklin, who produced Flamin' Hot, Eva Longora's feature directorial debut, which premieres at South by Southwest Film Festival in March, ahead of its June 9th launch on Hulu. So that's exciting.
Yeah, that one, I'm looking forward to that one. Margot Martindale and Chris Donopatopoulos have been cast in lead roles of the upcoming Amazon series The Sticky. The show was originally ordered in Amazon back in April of 2020. This could go in all kinds of bad directions. I don't know. As previously reported, the series is inspired. Maple syrup. We're good. The series is inspired by the true story of the Great Canadian Maple Syrup Heist. The real heist involved the theft of $18 million of Quebec's national maple syrup, which is more than 70% of the global maple syrup supply. Per the official logline for the half-hour comedy series, The Sticky revolves around Ruth Clark, a tough, supremely competent middle-aged Canadian maple syrup farmer who's had it with being helmed by the polite bureaucratic conventions native to her country's identity, especially now that the very bureaucracy is threatening to take away everything she loves: her farm, her comatose husband, and her right to freedom, goddammit. With the help of Remy Bouchard, a local blockhead, and Mike Byrne, a low-level mobster, Ruth changes her fate and transforms the future of community with theft of millions of dollars worth of the sticky stuff maple syrup.
Okay. Very interesting
I know
premise.
you hear sticky stuff, you don't know where that's going, but it's okay.
Hey,
That's
man,
right.
it's original. It's original. That's all we can ask for. Netflix, Tyler Perry is set to release his latest movie with Netflix.
There you go.
With plans to write, direct, and produce Mia Cupola. For the streamer, Kelly Rowland will star in and produce this film, which centers on the criminal defense attorney who, in the hopes of becoming partner, takes on a case of an artist who may or may not have been murdered, or may not have murdered his girlfriend. The ensemble cast features Trevante Rhodes, Sean Sugar, Nick Sugar, and Ron Rico Lee. The new project is set to begin filming this spring. So that's exciting.
Yeah, no, that's kind of cool. I like Kelly Rowland. She's going to be awesome. Richard Armitage from the Hobbit trilogy, of course. Michelle Keegan and absolutely fabulous star Joanne Lumley are set to lead the cast of a new Netflix series called Fool Me Once. Now, based on the Harlan Coben novel of the same name and produced by Nicola Schindler's Qua Straight Productions, the 8-part series stars Keegan as Maya Stern, a woman who is struggling to resume her life after her husband, Joe, is brutally murdered. But things take a turn after Maya spots someone on the nanny cam she has installed throughout her home to keep an eye on her young daughter, someone who is supposed to be dead.
Oh,
Meanwhile, Maya's niece and nephew are also reeling from the murder of their mother several months earlier and set out to find the truth. Could the two tragedies be related? Lumley stars as Judith, Joe's protective mother. Also part of the cast are Emmett J. Scanlon as Shane Tessier, Dino Fetcher as Marty McGregor, and Ali and Ava's Adil Akater, who plays Detective Sergeant Sammy Kearse, the lead investigator on Joe's murder, and a man grappling with some secrets of his own.
Oh, very interesting. Well, NFL is getting into the NFL.
Oh.
Or Netflix is getting into the NFL. NFL doesn't get into itself.
No.
I mean, I don't know how that would
I
work.
mean, sometimes.
You never know. With its latest and most high-profile sports docuseries, Quarterback, the series will feature exclusive access to Kansas City Chiefs Patrick Mahomes, Minnesota Vikings Kirk Cousins, and Atlanta Falcons Marcus Mariota over the course of the 2022 season.
Oh.
Now, the series, which will premiere in the summer, will follow the 3 quarterbacks from the start of the season to the end, following them on and off the field, from inside the huddle with teammates, inside their homes with their families. Now, the series has been handed a 1-season green light, but in success, the expectation is there that the new quarterbacks for each season and that the NFL Films and Omaha Productions and 2 p.m. Productions will be involved and continue moving forward. I think that's really cool, and it would be awesome too if they went back or created another docuseries where they went back and highlighted other notable quarterbacks. I mean, you could literally do this with fucking like every NFL team.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And I hope it does get more seasons and we do see more. And like you just said, not just current, but go back and do old school quarterbacks and like how's life now for them and like all that kind of. I mean, I think a lot of people would be interested in that.
Yeah.
Let's jumping over to Apple. Apple is apparently given a series order to the drama The Last Frontier with Jason Clarke. Jason Clarke is like that everyday actor that people love and they know him. They've seen him in all kinds of stuff, but couldn't tell you who he was.
Exactly.
By his name.
I agree.
Planet of the Apes and just like so many things. And they're like, who's that guy?
I know, he's everywhere.
He's set to play the lead role, apparently. The series hails from creators John Bokenkamp, who previously created the hit NBC series The Blacklist, and Richard Diovidio, who previously worked with Bokenkamp on the 2013 film The Call, as well as on The Blacklist and The Blacklist Redemption. Now, in the 10-episode series, Clarke will star as U.S. Marshal Frank Remnick, the lone marshal in the Barrens of Alaska. Ooh. Per the official log line, Frank's jurisdiction is turned upside down when a prison transport plane crashes in the remote wilderness, setting free dozens of violent inmates. Tasked with protecting the town he's vowed to keep safe, he begins to suspect the crash wasn't an accident, but the first step of a well-crafted plan with international political implications. Shit.
I know. I feel like Apple is very solid and very consistent with putting out good projects.
Oh, yeah.
It's just not a lot of people know about them.
Yeah, no, agreed. They need to market that shit better. Like, but
saying.
that sounds really good.
Oh, for sure, man. For sure. Well, now it is time for our guest segment.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. Max Montesi coming on the show to talk about The Last of Us, indie filmmaking, and so many other things. This guy is freaking awesome.
Yeah, I think one of the most interesting things that he talked about that I really enjoyed, and I think y'all are going to really enjoy, is the differences between big budget projects and indie and how they get made and what the sets are like and stuff. It was a really interesting conversation.
It really was, man. I'm excited for everybody to hear it. Well, here he is. And if you're watching this video on YouTube, man, oh man, after the show, be sure to go over to that interview because it's available right now on our YouTube channel. It might even be below this video. So just scroll on down and there it is. Click on it. Go ahead. Do it. All right, let's get started with the back half. All right, now it is time for the top 5 segment. Man, oh
Yes.
man, this one was very interesting. So
Yeah.
stick with us.
And this is a good list, I thought.
I thought so too.
Yeah.
Man, oh man, it is top 5 favorite film and or TV show spin-offs.
Mm.
So, I mean, it's interesting.
Yeah,
It's
no,
very
without
interesting.
doubt. Without doubt.
My number 5 goes to the spin-off from Boy Meets World, and I went to Girl Meets World. Man, oh man. This one, I wasn't even like really hardcore into it, but my siblings were that age and they were watching it. And I would sit down, watch it with them, just to have some bonding time, sit around, hang out. I would cry literally every episode. This thing was so heartfelt and like touched my soul. And I mean, of course, bringing back the original characters from the flagship, I thought was very special. And just the dynamic of everybody. This show is highly underrated. So, I mean, if you haven't checked it out, check out Girl Meets World, even though, I mean, some people have gone a little crazy since then in their real lives, but the show is really good. So, check out Girl Meets World.
I mean, anybody that brings back Mr. Feeney, come on.
Come
I mean,
on.
you can't miss that show. My number 5, it's dun dun Law and Order SVU. The spinoff that
That is.
probably in all likelihood is even more popular than the parent show that it spun off from.
It may be the biggest spinoff of all time.
Of all time. Yeah, it is a phenomenal show. It just keeps going and going and going. And we were blessed to have the amazing Rollins herself on as our guest. And it just like it's an amazing show. I have long been a fan of the original franchise and this franchise and the Criminal Intent and all of them, but I could not have this on my list.
Oh, of course.
Come on.
I
now.
mean, how could we not? Yeah, because Kelly Geddes, she was so freaking amazing. Like, I remember when she first came on our radar because, as you all know, our forever guest, Rebecca Kennedy, she starred on an episode of SVU, and their dynamic in that episode, I was like, holy shit. She is amazing talking about Kelly Geddes. So we were just so thrilled and fortunate to have her on our show. Go back and listen to that interview. It's definitely worth the listen.
And then go back and watch every fucking season of Law and Order, Law and Order SVU, Law and Order Organized Crime, Law and Order Criminal Intent. Just anything that has Law and Order in front of it, go fucking watch.
We'll see you in 50 years, okay? Right. You'll not watch anything else. Dun, dun. Number 4 for me goes to one that's on currently right now, and I think they're doing a very, very good job with it. And I mean, I will say Hillary Duff was my childhood crush. How I Met Your Mother. I think they're doing so good at, throwing little Easter eggs here and there from the original How I Met Your Father, but then also creating it as its own, with the interracial relationships and the people from other countries and coming into that aspect of it. I think it's a very special show to be able to show to a new audience because not a lot of people were watching it in the 2010s range. So not a lot of people young in the early 20s were watching it in the 2010s range that they can go back and watch it now. But yes, I definitely recommend How I Met Your Father.
Oh yeah, a brilliant show. It captures all of the magic of the original and I think is doing a splendid job. Speaking of a show that was fucking awesome and another hugely successful spinoff that equaled the success of the hugely successful show it was spun off of from, I'm talking about Frasier, which of course was spun off of Cheers, which was a massive hit. Frasier went on to become a massive hit of its own. And guess what, guys? It's coming back. What's better than a spinoff that's coming back? I mean, that's going to be fantastic. I loved this fucking show. I always loved the Frasier character, which was brilliant. Him and Lilith were some of the best things on Cheers by all doubt. And so when he got his own show and they moved him and it was just fucking brilliant. It's one of those shows where if you ever see it on, you can't help but watch it. You like stop and watch it because it's so fucking good. And I'm thrilled that Kelsey Grammer is bringing the character back. I know that has been long in development and it took a lot of years to get it finally going, but it is going to be, I'm just so excited because it's a fucking brilliant character and it was definitely a great decision to make the spinoff from Cheers, which wasn't even the plan.
No.
They wanted Kelsey Grammer to have his own show and they pitched something else and he was all in and he loved it and everything. And they said, you know what? Really? We maybe just want to do a Frasier spinoff from Cheers. And he's like, really? That character's not done? I thought we were done with that character. But the network was right, obviously, and they put him in the role and they put him on the spinoff, and it was amazing. And the rest is history. So, yeah, Frasier, my number 4.
For sure, man, for sure. My number 3 goes to a film that we honestly haven't heard much about, like if they're going to turn it into a trilogy, if they're going to incorporate it into this new film they got coming out. But I'm talking about Bumblebee. I
Yeah.
loved this one because it gave the character such a new light. I mean, I know they highlighted him in the first couple with Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox, but I mean, to have a solely dedicated film to just him, a character that's so known and so well beloved, he's not on the same level as Mickey Mouse, but he's kind of has that same type of quality, I guess you could say, where just everybody recognizes him and knows his name. But it was a great film, and nobody's really said anything about it yet, or if these two films are connected or anything like that. But I think, they're trying to figure out what to do with this Transformers franchise.
I think you described it perfectly. There's been hints that they want it all to be connected somehow, but I think they're trying to figure out how.
Yeah.
But I think it needs to be, because Bumblebee clearly, at least in my version, when I was watching it, it did connect to the original Shia LaBeouf movies. It kind of set up going into those. So where does that fall with the Mark Wahlberg ones and the new Beast? Well, I don't know. Like I said, I think you're right. I think they're trying to figure it out. But it was a really fantastic film with John Cena and Haley Steinfeld, and it's just an incredible cast you're right. It's not getting enough love, and I think it needs more love.
Agreed.
So check that out. My number 3, does this count? It's kind of like, it's a spinoff of a spinoff. Wait a minute. Does that? Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously, Star Trek: The Next Generation, massively popular, lasted 3 times longer than the original show it was spun off, Star Trek. Hugely successful, launched a whole series of spin-off Star Trek movies based on the spin-off series. Star Trek: The Next Generation, of course. And so my number 3 is a spinoff of Star Trek: The Next Generation, Picard. Star Trek Picard. I fucking love this show. They've done a brilliant job of staying away from the Next Generation, but then also bringing in the Next Generation. And then this season is basically a love story to the Next Generation. All of the original cast from that show are back to finish off this series with Picard. I watched the first episode and I was like, holy shit. I'm a huge fan of the series, and I hate that this is going to be the final year of it, but I really think this is going to be the best season of it. And it's just a brilliant, if you're a fan of Star Trek: The Next Generation, and I think anybody that's my age is, because it was massive back then and it was just huge thing. And you haven't checked out Picard yet, you should. It's a brilliant, I think personally, Sir Patrick at his best. He is killing it in this series. He's brilliant and he's so good to watch. And check out Picard.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Number 2 for both of us. And I mean, this makes sense because it's definitely one of the best film spinoffs in a franchise by far. And we're huge fans of Michael B. Jordan.
Yes.
So, I mean, of course, Creed.
Yes.
Coming into this character, I mean, just what he was able to do being Adonis Creed's son, and to be able to bring that fresh new light into a much beloved Rocky franchise, I think is so well done and so special. And that dynamic between him and Sly that they had the first 2, I felt like was very special. But now, I mean, whatever Sly's saying now. But Creed in general, the first one specifically, was so fucking good. So, I mean, of course, that's why we had to put it on our list.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think anybody thought that there would ever be a Rocky spinoff.
No, not at
right?
all.
Like, maybe the Rocky story just keeps going and going and going, and is he going to keep making them and everything? This was a brilliant way to further Rocky without Rocky. I thought it was really good, and I'm with you. The first Creed was just a really sentimental and touching way to say goodbye to Rocky,
It was.
but carry on the story. And I thought it was really good. And I'm fucking pumped for this one. I know there were some creative differences there, this time around, which is why Rocky's not in it. But I feel like it's time anyway. This is Creed. It's a legit spinoff, and it's not Rocky and Creed. It's Creed.
Well, what made no sense to me is because you remember after the last one came out, he had that whole Sly had that whole big speech on the beach with the campfire and shit.
Right.
Remember that?
Yep.
Like that was like a farewell speech. So that's why I was kind of confused that he was throwing all this shade.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I would like to see though, and Emily brought this up, and I do think it would probably be good. As you guys know, Milo Ventimiglia there played Rocky's son
It did.
in one of the Rocky films, and that motherfucker's jacked now and big, and like, who doesn't want to see Rocky's son throw down with Adonis at some point? I mean, Milo and Michael B in the ring.
It would be pretty badass.
It would be pretty fucking
I'm
awesome.
just
Just
saying.
saying, we're just putting that out there for anybody that wants to grab it and maybe make that happen. I'm just
Exactly. And he wouldn't be top biller because I think that's really what a lot of films that Milo has starred in for theatrical release, they haven't really done well. And with him not being top biller, I think that might open up a whole new door for him in the film world. So
Yeah.
that would be exciting. Well, number one for me on this list, and I mean, you guys can tell, like we said earlier in the show, we're huge into pop culture when it comes to
Yes.
Marvel and Star Wars. So number one for me is the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. This one
Makes
was
sense.
long in development. Everybody had been talking about it for years, what was going to happen, and then bringing back everyone from my Star Wars movies from when I was growing up, the prequels, but I just loved it. I mean, Mandalorian is by far the best one of the Star Wars series that is out right now, but I mean, Obi-Wan is right there.
Oh,
It
it's
was
right there.
so freaking good. A lot of people were giving it hate, and I don't even understand why, because the storytelling was good. I mean, the VFX effects were amazing. And I mean, yeah, I was just a super big fan of it. So Obi-Wan Kenobi, my number one choice.
Oh, I wholeheartedly agree. I loved the dynamic between Obi and Vader.
Yeah.
And you see why Vader is Vader. That any chance of Anakin being is gone. You see that. They do that scene brilliantly. And you needed that, because in the original trilogy, like, what the fuck? He was his guy. And now why do they hate each other? Why haven't they seen each other all these years? You get that in this series. You find out why that is and what it is. It was a brilliant telling of that's what I really like about this franchise now on Disney Plus with all these Star Wars things. They're filling in the gaps between what you needed to know before the original trilogy, right? Like, oh, that's what happened. Oh, okay. So, yeah, it's a brilliant show, and I hope it gets a season 2. I legitimately hope it gets a season 2.
Me too. And I mean, Hayden and Ewan, like, they're just fans. They love the character so much, and it's so nice to see how well received it was, because when those films came out, it was not well received. But it was for our generation, so I'm happy to see it. Exactly.
All right, my number one, it's no surprise to anybody that Wolverine is my all-time favorite comic book character ever. Ever. You guys know that. So it only makes sense that my number one is a spinoff from the X-Men movies that finally got him right. I'm, of course, talking about Logan. Now, I never had anything against Hugh Jackman. I always thought that he legitimately loved this character, and he gave it every effort to get the character right in every film. The studio just would not let that happen.
Yeah.
And finally, they gave the go-ahead. All right, let's make this motherfucker rated R. Let's get to the gritty. And Mangold was the perfect choice, right? When you saw the Wolverine, you knew they were on the right track, right? They were like, fuck Wolverine Origins. That was a goddamn disaster. So Mangold said, let's get this character right. So they established the Wolverine, and you could see they were getting there. They're moving there. And then Mangold just killed it with Logan. It was fucking brilliant. He finally was the guy that if you look at him wrong, he's going to gut you and fucking just serve you for dinner somewhere. Like, he was a badass. And I love that he was old man Logan, who was the badass and in just miserable pain, and life was killing him. The healing factor wasn't working anymore. He still fucking popped them claws and fucking gutted people. He was like, I got shit to do. I ain't going to do this shit. I loved it. And I was so happy for Hugh, who all those years kept telling the fans, I'm right there with you. I understand.
Yeah.
I know what you want. I'm trying to get us there. And he did. And now the idea that he's coming back in Deadpool 3 is just because, as I said, X-Men Origins Wolverine was a fucking disaster. It was a disaster for Wolvie. It was a more of a fucking disaster for Deadpool, but thankfully they got that right. And now we're going to get to see them together finally. So I'm super pumped. So my number one, without saying it, it's Logan,
Of
who
course.
finally got my man right.
Yes, exactly, man. Exactly. Well, what is your favorite spinoff? We know you're a pop culture fan, so
Oh,
we
for
want to
sure.
know, what is it? Be sure to comment below in the YouTube section. Add us on Twitter or anywhere and everywhere you're listening to this podcast. Be sure to comment below.
Yes.
Well, heading over to the box office recap. Oh my goodness. As we told you in the industry news, Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania came in at number 1 with $104 million.
Yes.
Now, Avatar The Way of Water came in at number 2 with $6.1 million. Now, at number 3 was Magic Mike's Last Dance with $5.4 million.
I've heard that sucks.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard. That's unfortunate because it was a good franchise and he's popular.
He is.
But everything I've heard, this one's not good.
Yeah. Number 4, coming in number 4 was Puss in Boots: The Last Wish with $5.3 million, and number 5 was Knock at the Cabin.
I want to see
with
this one. Still.
3.9. New movies coming out this week is Cocaine Bear. Oh my goodness. We're so super excited about seeing that one. The next one I actually do want to see, but I don't know where it is shown. This is the one with Kelsey Grammer. It's actually a religious film, and I think it looks absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Jesus Revolution, basically about an old-time priest or pastor who comes in contact with the hippie movement and welcomes all these people in to his church and tries not to judge them for who they are. I think it actually looks really freaking
It
good.
does.
These faith-based movies are actually doing really well right now. A lot of them are coming out, so might as well watch it. Mummies, My Happy Ending, and Juniper, whatever the fuck those are, and select theaters near you.
I love the humor of our podcast producer Jason. Though out of the 5, he has a little in parentheses next to Cocaine Bear. The only one of these movies that will place.
Yep.
Like, and he's right. He's probably right. But, because
Exactly.
of what you just said, you don't even know where these other movies are. And that's the unfortunate thing, because they're probably decent films that you can't find to go see. So.
Exactly, man. Exactly. Well, movies you can still go see right now: 80 for Brady, Titanic. Yeah. Marlowe, Missing, A Man Called Otto, and then, of course, Ant-Man, Avatar, Magic Mike, Puss in Boots, Knock at the Cabin. All of those places.
Yes.
Man. Now, IMDb Pro's top trending segment. Man, oh man, of course, the top trending movie is Ant-Man and the Wasp. What? Duh. Come on now. That shouldn't even been a question. Last of Us is the top trending TV show, which only makes sense because everybody is talking about this. Nationwide, freaking worldwide. It's a great freaking show.
Oh, yeah.
Please make sure Pedro's not dead. Come on, don't kill Pedro.
Right? Like, come on. I was just like in shock at the end of the last episode. I'm like, that can't even be possible.
I'd be so pissed.
I just like, what?
I'd be so pissed. And the top trending star is Raquel Welch.
Yeah,
So,
I hate when the top trending star is because they died.
I know.
I hate that. I get it, but I hate that. It's like, damn.
Well,
that
it's
sucks.
because so many people search, who the fuck is Raquel Welch? I don't know who that is. Who is it? Educate me.
Okay, so Raquel Welch, like, ridiculously famous actress way back in the day, or 60s, 70s, even into the 80s, yeah, I would say. But more known for her incredible looks. She was absolutely beautiful, drop dead gorgeous, pinup girl. She was amazing, and known for her particular body part.
No.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, she was amazing. She was a really gifted actress and a really great actress, but more people knew her from her looks. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, sex symbols they've been a part of for as long as we've been around, right? So
Yeah,
I
for
mean,
sure.
it's what it is, but
It is what it is, man. It is what it is. But yeah, it's great. At least things are changing now.
yeah.
At least
See,
things are
am I
changing.
right though? She was she was
Yeah,
she was a looker.
she was beautiful. Here's her with Tom Selleck, if you guys can see that. Yep, there she is. Fun fact, I didn't know this. I learned this in a podcast this week. Tom Selleck was up for the role of Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
crazy.
and had to pass on it because of Magnum PI,
Yeah.
because of the commitment that he had already made to the network for Magnum. Hey, it worked great for Harrison, worked fine for Tom. It's all good, right?
Another interesting casting thing that I learned, it was on Dak Shepard's podcast. It was an interview with Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd, Dak Shepard, and Bradley Cooper were all up for that one role in The Hangover.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Bradley Cooper beat out those two other amazing actors. Isn't it so crazy to think about these different actors in those roles?
And then how we always talk about like things happen for a reason. And when
Yeah.
it's your time, the spotlight will shine on you. And that's because it's meant to shine on somebody else at another time.
Yeah.
Because these guys end up being, could you imagine anybody else as fucking Magnum PI other than Tom Selleck? No,
not at all.
Can you imagine anybody other than Indy, like for Harrison Ford?
No.
You can't. It happens for reasons.
It does.
And that's why. And I mean, that's what you can take from stories like that. It's just like, it's meant to be.
Exactly,
I mean,
exactly. Well, thank you guys for getting crazy with us on episode 219 of Inside the Crazy Ant Farm.
Yes.
Holy moly, we got to thank our guest one more time, Max Montesi, for coming on the show. Be sure to follow him on Instagram. He is there, man. Oh man, you will love the content. Be sure to follow the company on social media and the podcast at Crazy Ant Media and at ITCAFpodcast anywhere and everywhere you are on social media. And you guys know you can follow us personally on social media. Myself at J Logan Austin anywhere and everywhere on social media, and
me at Crazy Ant Guy. No, at Crazy Ant CEO. I'm on it.
I knew it would happen at some point.
At some point, but I swear it's just coffee.
It's
It's
just
not
coffee.
wine time yet. But Crazy Ant CEO at Crazy Ant CEO.
Yes.
Everywhere on social media.
That's right. That's right. And you guys know you can subscribe to this podcast anywhere you listen to your podcast: Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Stitcher, and so much more. We've been seeing a lot of YouTube love recently.
Yeah.
And we really freaking appreciate that, man. Be sure to hit the like button on the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell for all the latest and greatest notifications coming out of Crazy Ant Media, because it's not just the podcast, guys. We make movies.
Yes.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
And maybe making a TV show.
Exactly. So much stuff happening at Crazy Ant Media. That's why you have to follow us, subscribe to the channel, and stay up to date with everything going on.
Yes.
And be sure to visit our website, www.crazyantmedia.com, where you can start rocking the latest and greatest Crazy Ant Media gear. Again, 15% off right now, all merchandise, including cups.
Yes.
Cups. I know this is also a audio version, but if you're watching the YouTube video, you got a nice look at our awesome freaking coffee mugs.
Yes. And on the website, you can watch YouTube video. You can watch some of our favorite interviews from ITCAFpodcast. You can listen to the new podcast, Everything's Okay, which has been diving deep into mental health and our own journey through that. You can find out about the film. You can find out about the television project that I just met. All that shit. Go to crazyantmedia.com.
That's right. That's right. Oh my goodness. But man, oh man, what another great episode. There was so much to unveil in this episode, but I'm super excited about Welcome to Derry. Welcome to Derry is going to be so freaking good. I feel it in my bones. They did it right with these films that they just released these past couple years. So I'm super excited to get more history into Stephen King's world, because man, oh man, it's a dark and fucked up place, but it's so great. But yeah, a lot of good stuff coming.
Yeah, and I was super pumped about all the Marvel stuff. I know Phase 5, Phase 4, let's face it, everybody was just pretty much not a fan of it. And Phase 5 has already seen a mixed, but I personally loved Ant-Man.
I did too.
Quantumania.
Yeah.
I think it was a great launch, and I think the future, the Kang Dynasty, and all the stuff that's coming over the next couple of phases, 5 and 6. I'm excited for it, and I'm excited every time we talk about new news about it and everything. So that was pumped. And then I was also disappointed. Obviously the last season of Succession.
That sucks.
And I'm kind of kind of mad that they haven't made a decision on East New York. It's one of my favorite shows.
Yeah.
And I so there, this episode was all up and down for me. I'm loving it. I hate it. I love it. I hate it. Like,
It is what it is, man. It is what it is. But there is one person that you all know we love, Oprah. Oh man.
Fantastic.